Imagine the most brutal, just gnarly, gory, deathly Godzilla death you could possibly think of. The most brutal one that's ever been shown in any movie form whatsoever, because that's what we're about to see right here, dude. Gojicenter will be showing us the freaking impossible today, and I'm so excited. Check them out, link down below, leave a like, subscribe, and let's do it. Alright, dude, this is gonna be gnarly right here. And sad, unless Godzilla wins this, which would be insane, but there's no way.
Gojicenter, we covered an epic battle featuring Legendary's G-Man against the bizarre Shin Godzilla. But today, we will take this a step further and discuss what would happen if Legendary Godzilla failed to incinerate his opponent, allowing the regeneration of Shin Godzilla's 5th and 6th forms.
Oh my god.
Join us as we closely analyze a hypothetical scenario where these two monsters face each other once again, taking into account the new weapons, abilities, and counters that Shin would—
Unbelievable. Look at this freaking monster, dude. That's like a Rathalos Godzilla. That's one of the most insane things I've ever seen right there. There's no way Godzilla's gonna win this.
Arena. Don't forget to subscribe to fill your feed with more battles and more carnage. Coming up, Shin Godzilla's 5th forms and beyond against Legendary Godzilla.
Come on, Godzilla.
The scenario. Before we generate possible outcomes of this scenario, we first need to pick up where we left off in the previous battle analysis. If you haven't seen this analysis yet, pause this video, go watch it, and then come back. In the previous analysis, we concluded with an unclear winner, given that we aren't 100% sure of whether or not Legendary Godzilla would finish Shin by burning the complete body.
Well, it's like, okay, if you haven't seen the video, then it won't make sense. I'm sure everyone's seen it by now, though, right? It's like Godzilla whooped his ass, but the thing is, like, Shin Godzilla regenerates if there's even a cell left of it, so it basically, unless you destroy every piece, it's gonna always regenerate. That's how Godzilla won, but still managed to not completely win.
And the fact that we have absolutely no concrete data on Shin's next forms, should he regenerate again. In this video, we will discuss 3 possible outcomes that would happen if Legendary Godzilla wins, but doesn't dispose of the entire body. These are completely hypothetical scenarios based on what we already know about Shin. Having said this, let's now enter the simulation platform.
Once again, I know it's not considered fact, and nothing here is 100% canon or, like, concrete, as they said, but I'm still gonna base it off this video until, like, the actual film company makes some concrete evidence.
Number 1, duplicate creatures.
Oh my god.
According to Shin Godzilla's known biology, it is possible that this kaiju's regenerative abilities can be executed in many ways, including the generation of additional creatures, or duplicates. It's mentioned in the film that this Godzilla's body can regenerate similar to a starfish. Once entire limbs or pieces of this creature are cut off, these could regenerate into duplicates of the same creature. In this particular made-up scenario, Legendary Godzilla severs the head of Shin and walks away. But these 2 chunks regenerate, forming 2 separate entities, 2 Titans, 2 Shin Godzillas.
I actually see no issue with this logic whatsoever. It's like when it's like those crazy evolving cells and they split from 2 to 4 and 4 to 8, you know what I mean, just constantly divide. Why wouldn't these 2 things just duplicate? Plus the thing he just said.
Now, the question. Can Legendary Godzilla take on 2 Shin Godzillas? In order to successfully take on 2 identical opponents, the G-Man would now have to adopt a different fight methodology than what he usually resorts to. In the past, we have seen Godzilla perform well against a single foe. In a 1v1 match, this Titan is very difficult to beat. But against 2 foes, Legendary Godzilla will probably struggle.
Shoot, I was about to say he could easily whoop 2 Shins, because I believe in Godzilla, but he did kind of get his ass beat by 2 Mutos, but only for a little bit, for a very small amount of time. Then he destroyed both of them.
In order for this fight to go in the G-Man's favor, his first priority would be to eliminate these 2 as fast as possible by closing the distance between himself and one of the opponents. In our previous battle analysis, we see that Legendary surpasses Shin in physical prowess, movement, and intelligence, meaning that this fight can be won by Legendary Godzilla under certain circumstances.
I hate when they do circumstances, whatever the hell the word I just tried to say is, because it's always like, I want Godzilla to win, but it's just, he won't now.
In this scenario, Godzilla closes the distance between the first Shin Godzilla and uses it as a shield of sorts to prevent getting hit with more atomic heat rays from the other Shin. Once this one is defeated, Godzilla will then proceed to eliminate the next one by using the same process. Approach and kill.
He's gonna take a lot of damage in those charges, but realistically, that's the only thing he can do. He's gotta close the gap.
Failure to follow this method would only mean that Legendary G-Man would now get hit from 4 directions at the same time, making it much more difficult for him to win. If this is the case and Legendary does survive this fight, this kaiju will have learned to incinerate this entire kaiju this time to prevent it from regrowing into something stronger.
I was gonna worry about that. I was like, does he actually kill it, like finalize it this time? What if he's not there and he just assumes there's like 50 of them on Earth and he's just, instead of like, I feel like you'd have to be there to witness them evolving like that.
Note that this scenario does not take into account the fact that Shin evolves into a stronger creature. But what if it did? The next simulation will uncover just that.
Oh shit.
Number 2, Shin Godzilla's 5th form. In the previous battle face-off, we discussed Shin Godzilla's most unique ability, which was its ability to evolve into a stronger kaiju. Now, it's really important to note here that the way this regeneration functioned depended on a few variables. Shin Godzilla evolves to counter whatever its opponent is at that point in time. Let us explain. At the end of this film, we saw Shin Godzilla's body get frozen thanks to a special coagulant that stopped this animal from functioning. Had this not worked, Shin Godzilla would have evolved into these smaller humanoid creatures you see here. That's right, folks. In order to combat humans more effectively, this creature would evolve into smaller Godzillas that would wage war against humanity at a smaller and more functional scale.
I love humans. I love us. We do a good job at messing stuff up, but I think these things would indeed end our shit, dude. They look like, I guess, xenomorphs, but even scarier somehow.
But in today's scenario, Shin Godzilla went up against a more powerful G-Man, lost, but luckily was not blasted to ashes with atomic breath, giving him the opportunity to regenerate to a 5th form. Note that this 5th form will now be custom built to counter anything the G-Man has the edge on. In the previous video, we saw that in terms of melee weapons, Legendary Godzilla far outweighed Shin. This is now about to change. Shin Godzilla's brain has collected enough data on Legendary to come up with a new body of its own. First, its posture is now more animalistic, allowing it to face forward and orient its head at a better angle.
Jesus!
Now it has longer and stronger forelimbs, tipped with sharp points to inflict melee damage. Its legs are now better equipped for faster movements. Additionally, this creature's muscle concentrations have now shifted to give it a stronger core.
Jesus did Christ, that is the most insane thing I've ever seen right there. Look at the girth on that tail. My God, the tail, dude. Jesus!
In the previous film, we witnessed an underdeveloped head starting to form at the tip of this tail. Now, Shin comes equipped with 2 heads, better fitted to attack from many angles.
Oh my God! Holy Jesus
And
Christ!
finally, because Shin seems to increase in height in every phase, Shin Godzilla now has a size and weight advantage over Legendary Godzilla.
The thing is going to beat the crap out of Godzilla. The crap out of, like...
Not to mention any potential upgrades with its atomic blast. Now, would Legendary Godzilla be able to defeat this Titan?
No!
At this stage, it would have been almost impossible for Legendary to defeat this Titan. But there's still one weakness that all Shin Godzillas have: energy depletion. If for whatever reason Legendary Godzilla figures out that this Titan's energy depletes at fast rates, the G-Man would once again have to change his fight methodology. Instead of charging head-on against a stronger physical kaiju, the G-Man would now have to taunt Shin into using its atomic weaponry, dodge these attacks, hopefully for enough time for Shin to be fully depleted of energy.
I wonder if he would use energy even quicker, seeing as how he's a much larger size now, or if like his ability to generate energy amplifies with the size as well. Science!
Where the G-Man could move in and finish off Shin. But failure to get Shin to waste its energy would only mean that Shin would completely destroy Legendary Godzilla in a close 1v1 confrontation. Or worse, get blasted to death by a superior atomic weapon.
No!
This scenario now seems very difficult to win for the G-Man. But let's say, for whatever reason, Legendary G-Man survives, and Shin Godzilla is given enough time to regenerate to yet another form.
Oh my God.
Number 3, the 6th form.
Oh my god.
This simulation will be taken a step further and develop another alternative ending to this fight. In this scenario, legendary Godzilla survives the encounter with Shin's more powerful 5th form, but Shin now aims to annihilate the G-Man.
Oh god.
In order to do this, Shin Godzilla will now develop a final form capable of surpassing legendary in every single way. What does legendary Godzilla still have in its favor? Even if Shin surpasses legendary's atomic capabilities at this point, legendary's atomic breath is still a dangerous weapon, capable of still inflicting serious damage if used correctly. But this 6th form will now evolve into something that will leave no edge to the G-Man.
Dude, that thing is seriously like, it's, you know what it is? Those are like Monster Zero wings is what it is. It's evolved such a, how are those wings gonna counter the atomic breath though?
In the past, there has been something that was used to effectively counter the effects of Godzilla's atomic breath. Electromagnetic pulses. These, according to some official MonsterVerse sources, mitigate the effects of the atomic breath, making it weaker and less effective. If this concept is migrated into this fight, Shin Godzilla would have developed its own version of an EMP, tuned specifically to counter its opponent's atomic blast and not its own. Another attribute that Shin could now upgrade is its locomotion. In the film, it is mentioned that this ability to evolve would have eventually allowed Shin to be capable of flight. Precisely the type of locomotion abilities that would let it have a definitive edge over legendary Godzilla.
I feel like this thing is so freaking overkill, overpowered. At this point, it could just annihilate the entire planet.
Over time, this thing would have become even more effective at killing Gojiras.
It runs
better
Earth.
than any Muto in the MonsterVerse. This new winged Shin now has the ability to fly or glide towards a lesser Godzilla, using its EMP-like ability to snuff out the G-Man's atomic breath and bring down the G-Man with sheer brute force. Or use a new atomic ray of its own. We could go as far as to say that this Shin can now emit atomic blasts from more controlled parts of its body.
I wonder if its EMP would affect its own atomic breath, like, you know what I'm saying? Or if its body would evolve some sort of like invulnerability to it,
including its arms, tail, and other areas.
What?
Would you believe that this isn't the end of it? According to the lore, Shin Godzilla could technically evolve to astronomical proportions,
The lore.
bigger than any kaiju we have ever witnessed.
Exactly. Shin can turn into a universe. So this is like his 11th form. It's
Although
like
this concept is a little too ungrounded in reality, the point remains. If not stopped or destroyed completely, Shin Godzilla would become the strongest and most powerful Godzilla of all time.
yeah, it does seem turning into a universe does seem a little silly. And honestly, the way it was described was so freaking awesome. I think more likely though, it would turn into kind of like the planet. Like the entire planet would become Shin Godzilla, sort of like a Marvel ego type situation. That's, oh my god, then imagine visitors join.
Do you think legendary Godzilla really stood a chance in any of these 3 scenarios?
No.
Do you still think legendary Godzilla could win against Shin's 6th form?
No.
Let us know in the comments. Please subscribe to this channel to fill your feed with more awesome kaiju mini documentaries, and go check out our merch.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause right there because that's some gorgeous merch. I do think Godzilla may have been able to beat 2 Shins at once because he is much more like agile and he is much more intelligent. So he could have used them like shields like it was portraying. I do think that way would have petered out kind of legitimately, but the 5th and 6th form, there's no way. There's no point even talking about it. Those things are freaking monsters, dude. That's the ultimate ass whooping. This was like my favorite Gojicenter video in a while. I hope they do more stuff like this where it's just like crazy monsters. I don't know, dude, because yeah, that's what I said. Either way, check them out, link down below. Make sure you subscribe to them, leave a like, subscribe here too, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.